Recording. Well, everyone, you missed a nice little rainy walk. So regarding the letter that Ned sent to Mr. Tangway regarding the soil that was on the town property, the way I think it's dressed up personally, to me, I feel it looks acceptable. I'm not sure, Phil, how did you feel about it? How
I think it looks fine. I guess it's where we're trying to go with it. And unfortunately, the letter went out before we did that site visit, so.
So I think there's a few other things Mr. Tangway wants to have addressed at the site, and more things for us to look into. So I would think at number 3, we should table number 3 at this time until we have another meeting. Like
Okay.
we should put on it.
And notice it.
I'd just like to state something for the record.
Go ahead, David.
I'm not going to support the intentional devastation by Tony Tangway of taxpayer Nate Smith's property, which is devastated the value of that property, and I'm not going to support the illegal filling of the town property. It's painful.
Okay. So you get that noted? All right.
No.
So let's put this again on our next meeting and you can have some.
And also, I'd like to note that Mr. Tangway, not just 2 meetings ago, clearly stated in that meeting, if you listen to the recording, that he would remove that fill from our property.
Yes.
Yes.
And I also want to know how much money we spend on Brian Monahan for Mr. Tangway.
Have we spent any money? Has he charged us anything for
He
it?
hasn't charged anything yet, and I would assume it probably is.
And we'll see how it goes down the road.
All right,
Okay.
Martha asked if the site visit would be in the minutes. Yes, it should be.
yes, it will be in the minutes marked up.
So Tony, get in touch with Ned. We'll get you on the next agenda to discuss the other issues that you want to discuss. And meanwhile, he can do some research on our end and.
Well, at least we won't have to do another site visit.
Yeah, yeah,
Snow.
yeah. Okay.
Do you anticipate when the next meeting is?
November 1st, 6 p.m.
God, we're halfway through October already.
Yes, Martha, the points made will be included.
Okay, moving on. Number 4, public comment. Does anybody have any public comment? Hearing none. Moving on. Number 5, local hazardous mitigation program, 25% match commitment by December 3rd.
You'll see there's 2 pieces to this. There's the form letter that looks like this. Looks like that. You got the right one, Scott. And a quick write-up. It's basically FEMA is looking to give out some money. You have to come up with a 25% match. They come up with the other 75%. There's approximately $11,000 total, and I just want the consensus of the select board to say, yes, go after this. But it's for a local hazardous mitigation project and
Plan.
that plan.
So every 5 years, the hazard plan needs to be redone, and FEMA, like you said, has money, and they're putting out a grant. Looks like I read this too. For help to get that, for contracting someone to do the update on it.
Yes.
And we have a 25% match. And that, but however, there's a 25% match. Right, did they mention that in here? Because the.
Yeah, 2007,
the,
8750.
yeah, but I think of that 25%, we're only gonna be on the hook for, right after the math, because our normal, I'm lost for the word of it now, our normal percentage that we get on top of, so the way FEMA works, you got 75% that they cover, and it's like our flooding. There's 25% that we have to cover, but then as long as we do our hazard mitigation plan, our LEMP, and the insurance thing, we have, I think we're
Thank you.
covered 17% of that 25%, we only have another that 12.
Yes, and we're allowed to use in-kind match with staff time.
Yeah.
And other items. And I was just, like Phil says, so we go after this, and that we contract with NVDA and St. Johnsbury. They do these for a whole bunch of towns.
Yep.
We're already a member of their association, so be a relatively straightforward.
We just should be doing it.
We just did this plan 2 years ago, right?
No,
No, like.
it's been, it was before I was on, so,
I was here when we
yeah,
did it.
you were on, it was your first.
It was back when, I think, wasn't Morley still here? No?
Yeah, I think we're 4 years, 3.5 years, 4 years into it. So,
Okay, so this is just for what, NVDA to redo the,
this is for them, the contract time for them to go through and redo the plan, and like you guys did that last time. Although it's gonna be a lot easier, because it's not a full redo like
So
it was the last time.
Is this an appropriation? Is this something we put on the town warrant for the town meeting, or this is some,
We already
we
have
just-
the money set aside.
we had the funny
It's,
stuff?
it's under the,
And it will cost that much money or whatever?
yeah, they've got the numbers out there, that's how much it is.
Yeah,
All right.
But the 25%, I'm pretty sure, because is this the full email? I don't think it's the full
this
email, there was more in there. Because there was more in there about the other money, the percent that we end up getting from the state, because I believe.
So we
that
get a
works that
kickback.
way. There's,
Essentially,
yeah.
yes.
So we won't be paying the full 25% of that.
Okay, so it's not a new plan anyways, it's just an
This is the
updated
update.
plan.
Yep.
So should we make a motion to approve up to $2,787.50 for the 25% match of the local hazard mitigation plan or the LHMPS?
second.
All those in favor?
I,
Aye. You in favor, Dave?
Yeah, I said second.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, all right. Okay,
thank you.
that's good. Moving on, ARPA funds webinar, take your time and think big. So you signed up for
I
that.
signed up for it. I signed you up for it.
Okay,
Would anyone else like to be signed up for it? It's tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. If anybody wants to attend, we just shoot me an email tomorrow morning and I will get you the info to sign up.
so did you email that?
Is that a Zoom meeting?
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
So can you just send the Zoom to us, or can we not have people? If it's raining, I might do something, but. if it's
Yeah,
not-
I can send you the email so you can, register for it, David. I'll send it to you.
All right, if it's pouring out, I might.
so we just zoom in and we don't have to be,
You can be anywhere in the whole world.
Okay,
or
I
outer
can-
space.
all right.
Pradeep, would you be interested? Because it's open to literally everybody in the world,
If
everybody.
you can send me the email, yes, but I do have something going on around that. I can get out. How long is it?
Oh, an
No
hour at the most, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm not able to make it. You couldn't make it at the end of it anyways. Thanks, though.
All right.
All right, moving on. Update to speed ordinance, problems with traffic court judge.
Hang on, Martha, was that your question about the recording? Whoever asked the question about the recording, I'll have to check and see. I'm not
So
sure.
all you have to do, all of the meetings are recorded. All you have to do is just request it and they'll actually send it to you once they like actually scan it over and you get it within 2 days. Cause it's like a public information request, like you're only allowed 5 days for your meeting minutes before you have to have them posted after a meeting. Same thing.
Okay,
Oh,
all
so
right.
we could get a recording of
We'll
this?
get a
All
recording. I'll see if we're permitted to put it up on YouTube also.
right, that might be easier for me and I can watch.
Thank you, Ned.
Yeah, you can watch it whenever you,
All right, so let me know tomorrow morning.
I'll find out right away, yeah.
All right. Okay, update the speed ordinance. So,
Yes, we got a frantic call beginning of last week from one of the sheriff's assistants in their office. I don't know if it's the county, the big county traffic court judge or the statewide traffic court judge, but unless you have a basically up-to-date stamped and sealed ordinance, they're throwing out cases. Now, we haven't had any thrown out yet, knock wood. However, their advice was clear that we should update ours so that it's up to date and modern. The last one we have there that Phil's looking at right now that came out in the email to everyone was from 2001. So it's,
But
essentially-
why, so,
so apparently there was a high-speed chase last week.
I thought I
Last
heard
week
about
on
that.
Pine Hill Road, but then they turned around because the guy they stopped chasing him, the sheriff.
Well, no, this was from, he's thrown out other traffic court info or traffic court citations for other communities. Nothing has happened in our community yet, but the sheriff is calling around to all of their customers to say, you should get yours updated, have the town seal signed, the whole 9 yards, and update it to modern stuff. So,
What are we lacking, I guess? is it-
well, I guess that's where I'm going, is the ordinance is in place.
Yeah, it looks pretty straightforward. I'm not sure what we're lacking.
I mean, 35 miles an
There's
hour on
nothing
unpaved
saying that
roads.
the ordinance is out of date
yeah,
after a certain period of time.
Is it?
it isn't,
Is
but.
there an expiration on there?
No, there isn't an expiration. However, their advice was that the newer ones were not being tossed.
Do they have examples? of-
I would ask.
Other
I
policies?
actually have one that I was starting to work on from Waitsfield that has, and it just goes through rather than having paved or unpaved or listing each street individually, they just have a paved section, an unpaved section, and list out every little road that says the speed limit, and unless noted, it's whatever the statewide policy is, 35 or 50 miles an hour. But then it also has some parking and on-street parking and some other superfluous stuff, but their advice to us was to update it, and I'm just bringing it forward to the board to say, do you want it updated or not?
I guess I would wanna know, maybe this is a Brian question, is do we need to update it?
I'll find out.
I wouldn't think there's anything,
Yeah, they're like right here, they name out the river road, 35 miles an hour.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. Why do we have, all dirt roads, and then we have a separate one for the river road?
that
I
might,
really,
that
I
might,
really feel, and I've mentioned this to previous boards, that the river road should really be a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit.
the way it is, yeah, probably.
I drive that road quite often, and I don't know if 35 is appropriate at any time.
So maybe
know,
Ridge and
probably
Lawson Ridge is 25.
North of the railroad tracks, it should be 25. South of the railroad tracks, I think you could probably get away with 35.
We have,
But
oh.
when's our line? Where's our line?
Past the bridge.
Past the bridge?
Just past the bridge.
No, so,
Just past the second bridge, about 100 yards.
oh, so then, yeah, 25 probably.
So there are 3 different ordinances, aren't there?
Yeah,
Then
Okay.
what are we gonna do with Coventry Station? I don't wanna see that opened up to 50 miles an hour. That road's,
No, I think,
road's all right.
I think-
I would feel safer driving 50 on that when it was dirt than I would now. And
yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
Well, that one dip over, there's that one dip with a blind spot is pretty dangerous on that road.
so can we,
I think,
can we leave at 35 now that we,
yes, we
now
can.
that we have paved it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because even, there's nothing about paved roads, it's just all roads, isn't it?
Yeah,
No, it says all, doesn't it say all dirt roads are 35?
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah. it's
On
been-
unpaved Coventry town roads, at speeds not exceeding 35 miles per hour will promote the safety.
Well, why don't we all take this
Yeah,
and,
maybe we do need
we
that,
all,
okay.
let's all read this over the next week before next meeting. Put this on our next meeting. Let's read this, guys, and make some notes on it, and we'll see if we all come up with come up with about the same feelings, and then maybe we can just have, we can just rewrite a new one, and meanwhile Ned can talk to Brian and say, can we just update ourselves,
So I guess my question for Brian would be, okay, do we keep it as 3 different ordinances, or do we combine them into one?
Wasn't that what Ned was saying, that the Wakefield one is combined?
Yeah, that's where, yeah, so I didn't see that at first, sorry. And then a thought, David, what's your thought? I think you had brought this up once, is Coventry Station at airport, what if we change that to a 4-way stop?
Never liked the idea.
Okay,
Dave has given permission to remove that lilac tree too, as something I wanna get done. Cause that's kinda hard when you come out of the airport road to see up the road.
I mean, anybody who knows that road stops, no matter which way
Oh,
you're
slow
going.
down.
You gotta check it out, because people don't stop.
my thought was.
We do have it, and we also have it marked well as a 4-way.
My thought was if it was that 4-way stop, it'd get slowing down a little more, hopefully.
Just creates too much a problem in the winter when you got people struggling to get up the hills, you know?
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, Coventry Station should just be open.
Come in that one way. that makes
Just slow
sense.
down when you're coming down and just look.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Coventry Annual Report Renewal Notice from Repo Graphic.
And I thought Dave Barlow had some comments on this. Dave Barlow? Well, this is the new contract from Repro. We had some problems last year. They gave us a very small discount, and I don't think it was, I agree with Deb. Mentioned it wasn't a good enough discount. I agree with her, but I accepted it either way. But the proposal for this year is for either 1 year at 4,950, the other, or 2 years at 4,760 each year.
So basically, they're $10 a piece?
Yeah, they are. We can go with something less expensive.
How many do we have left over? Yeah,
Well, usually we end up, like this year, we ended up having one whole box left over, but in prior years, when we would actually have a town meeting and people would be here, a lot of them would disappear because a lot of people would not bring their copies that they received via mail. They would walk through the door, take the copies that we would have in the little brochure bins right by the front door, which are no longer there anymore. And they would take them. So typically a normal year, we would maybe have about 30 to 35 copies that we would eventually just put in for recycle.
What's the each plus copy and each plus 2 pages? Just something to read.
if you want to add more, if you want 525.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of, is there any comparative companies? This is the one
Well,
we've used. I mean,
I'll be honest, 130 pages with the amount of color and the way that book looks for less than $10 a piece, in my mind, you go somewhere, you're looking at 10 cents or at least 10 cents for a color page copy. And you get a full book bound and everything for $10 a book. That seems to be a pretty good price to me.
I know when
I agree with
Amanda,
Phil.
I know when Amanda originally contracted with this company, it was quite a savings to what we were paying up to Magog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think this price is pretty similar to what we've been getting. Is that correct, Deb?
Yeah.
yes, it is.
It's-
Yeah.
So what's the consensus here? Do we think paper is going to go down over the next year in price and we should lock in even though it's not that much savings, or do we feel paper's gonna
I
go
don't
up?
think paper's gonna go down.
Yeah, I don't,
Supply chain issues, a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
It's-
I
it's,
think
uh,
It's going up.
I say lock in for the 2 years, because again, that's when you look at how much it costs for a color copy somewhere, it's more than
Okay.
10 cents a page.
All right, so I think we should go for 2 years. Should I make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the repro annual report contract for 2 years at $4,760 each year for 500 copies. And it's just the way it's written.
So moved.
What else was we gonna? Which means we gotta keep our pages at about 130, but I don't think that's a problem.
No, that's gonna be easy to do.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Done. 2 years. Okay, other business. A, Pine Hill Road Engineering and Paving, Derby ready for paving in 2022. Go ahead, then.
Yes, I spoke with Ruggles on Friday. The gentleman who had done some other work for us is sort of semi-retired. I spoke to I don't know if it's the new guy or whatever, but he said he would look at it, but I wanted to make sure that the board knew that we needed to get this done, obviously, before we pave next year.
So is that for the pond?
Yeah,
David, did you ever get to talk to him about the dry hydrant too?
I mentioned it to him.
You did?
No, I haven't talked to anybody yet. I
Okay.
clearly stated that I would reach out to Ruggles, which I have, and Tim has gotten back to me on it. He called me October 6th, and we discussed it. He's got a little project to finish in Derby. He's an extremely busy man, highly respected in AOT. He wants to meet with me privately on it. He doesn't want to wing it. He just wants to look at it and write up something for us, and then we'll propose it to Mike.
Yep. Was Mike
But
in?
you said Mike's good with the dry hydrant too?
I talked with Mike and mentioned to him that the removal of the dry hydrant out of Al Breyer's pond and putting it into Mike's, because Al Breyer's pond dries up. And he didn't seem opposed to it. I just mentioned to him that you were gonna reach out to him and an engineer and try to figure out what needs to be done. And he seemed like he was willing to work with the town.
Yeah.
Is
So
that something Ruggles would that make sense to have him kind of throw that into that same plan, even though it'd probably be a different money pot, but.
We can. I mean, you're not talking high-tech stuff here. It's throw
No.
a pipe in.
That just, I don't want to mess anything up that you're working on with that in the first already.
Yeah. I think you should just keep me as the contact with Tim.
Okay.
And we've already discussed the approach we want to take, and we'll be fine.
Yep.
all right, so when do you have a date when you're gonna be meeting with him? I know you said he's got a project he's filling up to, finishing up.
No, he's extremely busy, man. He basically gets all town work through AOT. And he said he had one project left up to Derby that he was finishing up. And he said when he went up, he'd give me a call and we'd meet.
We won't be able to do anything with that this before winter anyways, right?
I would doubt it at this point, given his schedule.
Yep.
It'll be there in the spring. We'll get it done.
That's what you're talking about, is Derby wants to pave.
Yeah,
and
Derby
to
is-
do that was one of the roads on our list to do from Pike
correct.
out of this, so.
And Derby is eager, they have the money set aside and they're moving ahead.
Well, that work can probably be done well in advance of them being able to start paving anyways, right? David?
I didn't hear you. Could you repeat that, Phil?
That work up there, if we were to do it, would be able to be done well in advance of them starting to pave anyways, right?
Yeah, we don't want to do anything before June 1st anyway.
Yeah, for paving, yeah.
Okay. B, appointment of a new planning commission member to fill remainder of terms.
I added it on here because I want to make sure it gets out to people who may not be here or see the meeting, but see the video. It's on the website, it's on the front door, it's been posted a couple of different places, actually 4 different places. And we have couple of people have shown interest and are writing letters, or either have letters with me or will be writing letters.
Okay,
Pretty-
so does it has to be posted for 30 days? Is that how?
No, 10 days.
10
I would
days,
say by November 1st,
our next meeting, we
we should
can,
have people, a list of people who are interested in.
okay,
available.
we can review it, and would we make the appointment then?
You can make the appointment right there.
Why can't I find? So I thought I had seen, and I can't find it right now. I thought I had seen on their agenda for this past week or this week, there was another member that was resigning.
Nope, they've had two that resigned. Michelle resigned and Sue Harper.
So we knew about Sue Harkey, we didn't know about Michelle.
I didn't even know about Michelle, but they say she's resigned. I want to speak to Stephanie. I haven't had a chance yet.
Yeah, so I guess the board needs to be
Did they
brought
have a
to
letter?
us with a letter. Right?
Yeah, Michelle moved out of town. She resigned before Sue.
Yeah.
All right, so there's two people. Two spots.
Okay, moving on.
So,
Oh,
no, that's just a sidebar discussion, never mind.
okay. Lighting at Lady Bird Park, the trans place project on hold, so,
They, I haven't been able to connect with Jason, trying to get exact specifications from him on what sort of light poles they would permit. I do have pictures from Willis and a couple other places that the black sort of Equinor coated poles that look very nice. I'm assuming they meet DOT or V-Trans specs. He hasn't gotten me back to me. I will have information for the next meeting so that we can move forward.
So
They-
you talked to him that he's open?
They were amenable, I will say, to us paying for the light poles, but it had to be their specs. He hasn't gotten me the specs yet, so that we can get a price and move forward with that, and the number of light stanchions we would need to cover the area appropriately.
So I spoke to Jason today, and he's basically waiting to see what we want to do. You know, we've thrown that different type of lighting at him, and basically, you know, his proposal was telephone poles. So his thoughts are these, that we make up our mind what we actually want, and then we'll move forward. I mean, if we go to a different lighting, we're gonna have to buy the fixtures. But I mean, he's still amicable to the electricity and all that.
David, are you opposed? So, I mean, I guess we should make a little plan if we're opposed to telephone poles, which I kind of think they're ugly. At the same time, when I drove through there tonight, the one telephone pole that we have in there, if we were gonna clean up the park and put nice lighting, it would be nice to move that telephone pole closer to the road that exists and, you know, more on the entry to get it out of the park and clean it up. I don't know if anybody else is thinking the same
It'd
kind
be
of.
nice, but I don't know if they'll do that.
I think your trouble there is gonna be if you come to a sharp T like that, you're gonna need a cross brace, and you're gonna take even more room.
Okay,
And
You
that's
know, you need a support pole. Are you talking about coming out toward the diner and then going down the street? Is that what you mean?
yeah, well, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. It's like, wow, that one pole is still an eyesore, especially if we go and spend the money on nice lighting. And then my mind wandered and it's like, well, maybe if in this ARP money, if the town was interested, maybe clean up all the poles in the whole town. It hasn't
Bury
been
it
paved,
all.
like put it all underground in the whole town to clean it up, and it'll look nice by the church. It'd just clean it up a lot.
okay.
It would. I mean, the church is a disaster with all the poles around it. The trouble, and I'm not knocking it. I think too, we have to think of those ARPA funds as a whole,
Mhm.
not just the village too.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good idea.
I mean, if you ever want the town to be really nice, that would have to be done, or at least from the community center up. Where the wires really start getting piled on right in front of the community center, all the way up to the corner of the church.
That's a project. Did you
But-
see what Waterbury just did? That's what they did. They
Yeah,
buried everything.
but look how nice it
Oh,
looks,
yeah.
but it's huge money.
So,
Yeah, when I talked to Troy about that, about moving poles at the, church, you know, those are actually, what's the telephone companies?
That's consolidated poles because there's no power on them.
Yeah. He said if you want them consolidated, do that, you'd probably have wires laying on the ground for 2 years before you got anything done.
Yep.
Mhm.
But the other problem is that's their main transmission line going through them, so.
That's a good idea, it's something we could look into when we get ready to do.
I don't know.
Did you,
what-
talk to Troy about, that light?
Yeah, and so we decided we're just gonna spin it for now toward the, parking area. Maybe I'll get us through the winter and put on, the lighting that you had talked about, Phil, the,
Yep.
LED.
Yep, okay.
Temporary fix, okay?
Yeah.
Moving on, anybody else have anything else about?
I'm gonna answer a Martha question because I think she asked it after. I don't know, I believe there was a letter of resignation from Michelle. We just haven't seen it.
it may have just been an email that says I'm moving out of town. So I'll check. And I'll check with Stephanie and Dan also.
Australian ballot article for town meeting 2022.
Just old business
Moving
moving
it on.
spot, just to make sure we have it on the agenda. People know that it's coming up.
Okay,
And just to let you know, in relation to that, there's a lot of clerks on the clerk serve that's trying to talk with their legislation to try to enact the same act that they did during the COVID period, to see if all towns can go ahead and do the absentee ballot again for this year. I will just keep you updated should something arise out of that. I just wanted you to be aware. I mean, definitely regardless of whether we're able to do absentee ballot or not, to make sure we have that on the ballot. But I just wanted you to be aware that that could be another possibility that may come if that's something you folks are really wanting to do again this year. Of course, you guys can talk with your legislation as well, make the comments and the concerns to them. I think the more they hear it, the more that they'll start considering enacting some of those acts again, based on what the current situation is with COVID.
So I want to make sure I'm clear on something with this. There's 3 parts in my mind that's having to do with, well, what we have on here, but then that. There's absentee, well, there's the Australian ballot. The Australian ballot is different in my mind than an absentee ballot because the Australian ballot is there for you to come in and you can vote the day of. The absentee ballot is being able to request that ballot, that same ballot, if you're not going to be here on the voting day. And then mailing is mailing everybody, I guess, but that's kind of the absentee and the mailing is kind of the same thing, I guess. But I wanted to make sure I was clear that there's 2 different things we're kind of talking about on this, what we're bringing up in our meetings of changing to Australian ballot in the town is not absentee ballot.
That is correct. Australian ballot in a normal Coventry town meeting, Australian ballot is just for the school bond vote. That is the only article that is approved that can be voted Australian ballot. What Scott is looking to do is what they did last year, is because we were not able to hold town meeting, all of our articles that we had were placed on an Australian ballot.
Right.
What can happen is technically, once those Australian ballots get mailed, then they're sort of called absentee ballots,
Right.
because people have the opportunity to be able to place their vote absent of actually coming in to vote. So yes, the actual Australian ballot is the ballot with the articles. Once that has been mailed, that is then the absentee ballot.
okay, so you're gonna keep us posted?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, anything else there? Plaques, memorials, and awards along the hallway of the community center.
Another holding one, but just FYI, the Brad Maxwell Award should or better be here this week. I was assured by condos office that would be here weeks ago. They ran out of paper, God knows how they ran out of paper that long, but it should be here this week. So,
Do you hear that, David?
and then we will rearrange.
Yeah.
the fit.
So do you guys understand those plaques on the right? Those are given out by the Secretary of State for 20 years of service to the community.
Yep.
Yep,
You know, the ones, you guys understand that part.
yep.
Chet was separate from the town. Chet is an icon with the children of this community, and the community as a whole. And I do see there is a sign up there for him and Virginia, I believe.
Yep.
Are you guys down there?
No. So we didn't end up doing anything with it? Or?
Yeah. And
So
I don't know why
Ned wanted to table that for another meeting, but he was just bringing up that Brad's award should be in this week.
So what we've discussed, David, and I think you might have, I'm not certain if you missed the meeting or if you were at the meeting, but we decided, or we discussed that Ned was gonna take all the plaques out of the closet that we have and lay them out on the table. And he was going to make a diagram and a plan of how they should go. And then during one of our meetings, we're just gonna go down there and yay or nay the plan and make adjustments to it and then get them hung up.
Yeah, how many plaques were we actually just missing? Just those two that were out back?
No, there's probably more than just those two. I would honestly say, because you should have, Mike Marcotte should be up on there as well.
I talked to Mike about that this spring. He's in no hurry.
Okay,
It was different circumstances for Bradley, and I don't want to get into that tonight.
okay.
But there's at least 3 or 4. We'll get them all out and get them lined up. I know there's one for the fire district.
So that's all there is?
There's 3 or 4.
The way
yeah.
this was sounding, I thought there was like 10 or 15
I thought
more.
that was like
Well,
10 or
no,
15.
but there's a couple of new ones that Richard Hoosier wants to put up that are gonna take up like an entire piece of the wall.
Yeah, I want to see them all,
Okay.
and then we're gonna decide. And then Deb and Ed, you guys reached out to our billboard, right? I saw that in an email. And did anybody get a response from them?
Yes, I emailed Mike Lacoste the night of the meeting. David sent me his email, and the next morning he brought that thing. I guess I was shocked when I saw that. Where are we putting that thing? That thing is huge.
I haven't even seen it.
It's,
Well, I think it's,
It's in the shed over the garage if you guys want to buzz over.
I
The,
thought that was supposed to go outside on the building
so
somewhere.
we had talked about the building, but I had also thought about over in the park, but I guess we gotta go see it and then we can figure
we
that
can
out.
see and lay it out and see
If you
where,
want, I'll run down and get the lights on for you. The thing's massive.
yeah, it's like 6 by 6 posts and a small shed that goes on top of it. It's like
yeah, it
a
was,
foot deep and, you know.
it's nice. I'm assuming it's
It's
nice.
got a roof, it's got everything. It's really very
I
nice.
think it probably looked great over there.
I would say at the park is, because over here, we don't, I would say between here and the pump station right there, there's just not enough space. It'd be better down in the park.
Attract more people, you put it right there with the
Yeah.
town of Coventry.
All right, well, let's see it and let's make a decision on where to put it and then let's see if it's something we're gonna have the road commissioner put up or if we're gonna hire someone to put it up, whatever makes the most sense.
We'll get it up.
Okay.
I'll have to look at Martha brought it up, well, and I can check on this too, is the parent club has, I'm assuming you're talking about parent club has some, awards or certificate things, Martha, right?
No, so there was some plaques that hung up, like the dedication to the community center from the
Oh,
parents.
okay.
There was something about David's mom, Mrs. Gallup, there was a couple of them. And I do believe that Virginia, Poirier also was supposed to get something because she was on the, school board for a long time.
Viola Poirier.
So, yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah, Viola, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to do 4 things at once, but, yeah, so I think there was more plaques than that. And I know that there was one that actually, the community center was actually dedicated to the community from the Parents Club. I don't know where that went. Haven't seen that in a while.
I think that's right down next to my door, Martha.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Anyways,
okay.
we're on it. We'll get them straightened out. We'll make a plan and a layout, and we can all approve of yay or nay and get that taken care of. That's it. Okay, so we're gonna add on F, which was the treasurer's report from Mr. Barlow.
All right. Well, I invite your attention to my fine treasurer's report, first page, in which nothing much happened. So everything balanced. You didn't have any spending
Mr.
in
Rogers.
September from the reserve funds. And there you have it. I will add that I'm, over the past 4 months, made a significant amount of progress to address one of the auditor's longstanding complaints about reconciling the bank account to the general ledger, to the general fund. Now 4 months in a row, it's been reconciled to a specific number that we have eventually determined is the number. The number, by the way, is not zero. Make a short story long, our financial records are built on the wreckage of 12 years going on under the last regime. We didn't get a clean swipe, a clean start. It's just built on top of the wreckage. So we're still fixing things, and this is one of them. But made some good progress on that. Thanks to Deb Tangway for lots of help getting that sorted. We got a few more accounts to get sorted too, but this was the big one that addresses what the auditor was after. So more to follow on that. But in terms of just to wrap up September, it was pretty uneventful. It's done.
We appreciate your efforts, both of you. Thank you. Timesheets, G.
So I know this was mentioned from David Barlow, and I think Deb at one point, and I thought about it too, is we have 3 people that do timesheets currently for payroll, which is the 3 offices. I think all town employees should be submitting timesheets in one way, shape, or form.
Yes,
I don't know, I can't tell you because I haven't read through them. I don't know if that's part of a policy somewhere or if that needs to be a policy or
it
what.
is part of our personnel policies.
It is.
Yes.
Then-
Time sheets.
I think that needs to start happening from everyone on the normal payroll.
So for the record, I've always, my men have always, done their time reports. I have those, at the garage. We're salary, so I've never submitted them, but I do have all of those for Edmund and John. I've never done a timesheet for myself. Are you offering, time and a half?
David, as a supervisor and a manager, you would get comp time, not time and a half.
Whatever. But if you, are you asking me to do a timesheet? Because I'd be more than glad to do it.
Well, yes, so from 2 standpoints, one is having that, but also for you, like if we go through another disaster event, having a timesheet from you, it makes it a lot easier also with.
Well, I always do it for those.
Well, I remember having to rebuild all of them from the last time, so.
Yeah, but I had everything written down for you.
Not days and times of time worked on those days, but.
About that, I could look through my, records.
I will make sure to remind people to get their time.
It's
sheets with it.
also, and the rest of them are salaries, just seeing in the payroll, having 3 of them, and I'm asking Ned to do it too.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm fine with it either way.
If that's an agreement, it's in the policy. I guess.
Well, I kind of just, it's kind of not. If it's in a policy and half are doing it, half aren't doing it, that's
Yeah,
not saying much about the policy. So
Yeah.
I think we should all do, so do we need a motion or no?
I don't think so,
No,
it's in the
it's just-
policy.
Yeah, it's in the policy, okay.
the employee should know time sheets are.
So is Dave gonna keep his timesheets at the office, or we gonna have him turn them in every week?
You can just
2 weeks,
email.
once a
I
month?
have them all, I can turn them in.
Well, I don't think we need them for past, I think going forward.
Yeah. going
Just
forward.
starting Monday.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, starting Monday, because that would be the start of a new pay period.
Does anybody have any other business?
Who's the C2?
Oh, you know what we're having trouble with is, this is the second year in a row from AOT, and I'm not gonna point the finger at them. I don't know what's going on with our line striping. So we've got emails, I don't know if Ned shared those with you, but, so the only thing that they're currently or even looking at is our unpaved, our roads that, were paved this summer. Alderbrook, Alderbrook is not gonna get, lined. I'm kinda wondering if they're even gonna make it. There's a little outfit over in, Newport, does line striping. I talked to him a little bit. He said he basically gets like 30 cents a foot. Is that something you guys want to approach, or you want to just take a chance and hope that, AOT gets here?
Does he do roads? He does
Yeah, he
roads?
does roads. I've seen, yeah.
Okay. I
You
didn't
talking
know.
about Monty?
Yeah, Trevor
Yeah.
Monty.
Trevor.
So he's set up to do roads now?
Yeah, he actually did all of Main Street of City of Newport.
Yeah, he said he has to, he said he usually gets like 30 cents. He says it's a little harder for him because he has to mark it all out, but if it gets into another week and we start looking at cold weather, do we want to just bite the bullet? It's not something we should have to do. This is basically a requirement of AOT that hasn't been met for the last couple of years.
So AOT, it does all of our town
Class-
roads
Class 2 roadways.
and it doesn't cost us?
No.
I know as you get older and you drive at night, man, and it's raining.
You
and
can't see shit.
You can't see shit in another car. It's really nice to see the white line on the right side of the road just as a guideline to,
But the same thing is happening around the state, in Swanton and over in the
Well,
Champlain Valley.
they
They haven't striped it a couple of years, and it's essentially out there, but David, I agree with him.
can't,
They're just
they
never
can't
gonna
finish,
get to a
they
proportion
can't
vote to
finish
stripe.
striping their own state roads either, so.
Yeah, so we might as well bite.
Can
the
we
bullet.
get them to put those reflective little tabs?
Yes.
That one
No,
with the plows.
we're gonna be plowing them in a minute. Do you guys want me
Okay.
to, reach out to Trevor again and,
do you know how many
many
miles
miles?
are we talking about?
so probably like 4.5 up to the interstate bridge, right?
5,000, so like 25,000 there. So you're talking about, yeah, 8 grand, 7, 8 grand.
Something in that ballpark.
I mean, that's one car crash. So, I mean, when you
All
look
the
at,
residents would
much,
appreciate it, I don't know if you've been up that station in the morning on a foggy, rainy day, but
Not fun.
Yeah.
it's painful. You can't tell where you are.
Nope.
we have I think so that would come out of roads and infrastructure probably, and I think we have some extra in there. So I think you should reach out to him and, let's have him, I think it makes sense for him to make us a proposal, like a written proposal that we can approve.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to wait and do it in a meeting? Because when we get into November 1st, you're looking at cold weather. Do you want me to just reach out to him, get a proposal?
What is it we're doing?
So can,
Alderbrook Road, Coventry Station?
Well, Alderbrook Road is painted, but again, that's not going to get painted. AOT has clearly stated that they're doing nothing on roads that haven't been paved this year. All the roads that have any paint on them are not getting any. Only new pavement.
and they're not doing our new payment either.
Well, that is the hope. That's the emails we're getting, but I mean, it's October, 18th today?
Yes.
And I went through this, game last year and we didn't get it done. And also on that note, Ned, has Eric reached out to you to, clarify get that data inputted with the state?
Not that I recall, no.
Okay, when I talking to Eric, you know, originally, last year, they said, well, we didn't have that on our list, and they wouldn't have because it wasn't paved till last year, you know?
Is there a way to get any reimbursement from the state, even if it's their?
I asked that question. I emailed back the lady and she never even responded to me. All she stated was they were gonna do their best on all roads that were paved this year. I don't think they're gonna offer reimbursement.
So as a state,
Because it's a matter of, do we wanna spend, $7,500 out of pocket in chance that we're doing it, you know?
well, as the road commissioner, are you advising the board that it's something that we should do?
Does,
Well, I would like to, I just wanna see them lined. I mean, it's so hard to see, but we're kinda taking a gamble, you know, it might be the next day they show up and they're ready to paint for free.
does Airport Road need it too?
No, for some reason they did the airport road.
Okay. So that's 6 miles. All the Brook from Coventry Station,
So that's like 30,000 linear feet.
31,680. So it's 9,000,
9,000 feet,
$9,000.
$9,000. So
95.
it's a lot of money. I mean, I know it needs to be done and I'm kind of forward it full.
So his per foot, is that per foot per line?
No, that would be for 2 lines, your 2 yellow lines.
So not including, well, you don't put a white on those, do you?
No.
Yeah.
Do you want to,
Can
what
we,
do you think about approving a certain amount, at least get the station done? And then I can reach out to Trevor and I can, maybe we could all, email and decide if we want to go with it in another week or so. I'm just
So
wondering if 2 weeks is going to be too late. Let me talk to him about it a little bit anyway.
I would approve, I would recommend.
so I make a motion that we approve up to $10,000 for line striping the roads that David mentioned, at around 30 cents a foot. And give David Gallup, the road commissioner, permission to discuss the deal with Monty's line striping, or Frank's line striping is what it's called.
Are you
Out of
a,
Newport.
and you probably said this, are you able to push state or find out from them?
What's that, Phil?
Are you able to push the state or find out from them if they have the thought of coming?
He said it's just so erratic. You know, I talked to Jace today. He said, you know, you might see I don't know if you noticed, Newport got that little section done right there by the airport road.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
little They got that little section painted.
Newport painted that. The city painted that. They were out there doing that the other day.
Oh, yeah, you sure?
Yep, I drove by while they were doing it.
I didn't know how that worked because that's actually a state road.
I was a little confused on that too, why the city was paving and painting it.
So,
Well, it's a state, it's just like Main Street Orleans. It's a
Yeah.
state road, but the villages take care of it.
so if you can reach out to someone at AOT and get a definite no, they're not gonna do it this year, then I think we should approve the funds and have you reach out to the guy in Newport and have it getting taken care of.
I'll
All
second.
right.
So,
Okay, I'll reach out to Trevor and Jason again tomorrow.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let us know.
Yeah,
You should go ahead and state where those funds are coming from, or if those are supposed to be extracted from a reserve account. You need to have that stated within your motion as well, so that
you
gives
said that
Lee
separately.
permission
Okay.
and David permission.
Okay, so I make the motion to approve up to $10,000 for line striping on the roads that we had discussed, the funds that come out of, what is the road,
David, is it the roads and infrastructure? Or what is it?
Yep, roads and infrastructure.
roads and infrastructure budget with the with David Gallup discussing it with AOT and also with Trevor Monte's line striping or Frank's line striping.
Just the edit to the motion.
Yep, no, I got
You
it.
had it,
I got
okay,
it.
thank you. Does anybody else want to comment on that? Does everybody that's here think we're agreed, like it makes sense?
Yep.
Okay. Any other business?
Martha put in the chat about the BJ permit up in Newport at the Gateway Center on the 26th at 5:30. Is that the same meeting down in Berlin?
Yeah, so the public has they have to hold public meetings, so they have public input because like I said, the leachate's coming in from New Hampshire. And it's also going to municipality wastewater treatment plants, so
Is it News VT or is it Casella?
News VT is Casella.
Well, yes and no.
Well, Casella has different branches, but all of the permits for the landfill are under News VT.
That's what I was asking.
Yes, so yeah, it's actually the permit for what they're trying to do with the leachate, like what we've been trying to figure out for 6 months.
Okay.
Or I've been trying to, so I'm just sharing the information.
Okay, well, thank you, Martha.
Anything else with the business?
Anything else? Other than that, we have warrants that. Okay,
I've gone through them. I've already given Deb hell.
we'll look through them quickly and
Forgot to sign them there last week.
I didn't sign, oh, I did?
Just make sure you guys sign all the warrants, 2 signatures, please.
Sorry. You forget papers and I forget to sign, okay.
I still think somebody ate that paper. I'm pulling the dog ate my homework on that now.
You can only pull that one so many times, Deb.
Holy crap, I got $35 coming, 35.27. The hell?
Yeah, I have 25. I was about ready to say just avoid the check, but that'd be more of a problem.
Mhm.
You can very easily go ahead and give me your checking account, your ACH information, and we can set that up so that totally, clocks that right out from having to issue a check.
Catch that. Unless she's saying she's gonna use her account information and put it in her account.
I will email that to you, Deb.
Well, you don't want to email it to me, but I will email you the form. If you just want to go ahead and drop that back off at the office, we'll definitely get that inputted. I mean, honestly, it does save me time, it saves David time, and it does save you time from having to take that check to the bank. It automatically finds, your money finds its way in there.
It's called a cell phone with mobile deposit.
Well, I guess you could do that, but still, you've got me who has to issue that check. We're paying for that check. Then David has to sign that check. Then that check has to get mailed to you.
Oh.
ACH is just a push of a button.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm gonna make a motion to approve the warrants as they are. I've gone through, there's no questions on them.
second. Or so move.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. When are you doing stipends, Deb?
What's that?
When do stipends go out?
Stipends? Not until next.
Stipends.
Okay. I don't think we ever discussed the EMD. Changing the EMD to a stipend instead of hourly. Did we discuss that already?
I don't think so.
I know I had talked about it with Amanda, not the EMD, sorry, the 911 coordinator.
So this is the first check we've paid Jan so far? I've kind of looked through these. on my phone.
Right, yeah, I'll just talk to you later.
I
Okay,
would think there must be some kind of policy or something you would have to do around that.
That's what I was wondering, if there was anything that needed to be done.
Yeah, I would say in order for that to be changed, there's gotta be something designated by the board, and whether there's an official document or policy pertaining to it, that would have to be updated as well
I agree.
before you make that change.
Do make that change, yes.
No, but that, yes, that's fine, but I think it's for the minuscule minutes that happen on a daily basis, it's a lot easier to do that for.
What, email it to Deb and I, and, well, there are things that need to be looked at, because you're going from sort of employment status to volunteer status, and just,
Do we want to take a ride up and look at the,
I can run over, I know where the lights are, David, we can run over. That's down here at Main Street, right, the sign? David Gallup,
Mr. Gallup?
Yeah, you know how to turn the lights on?
yep,
I like, without seeing it, it's gonna be hard to know where to put it, right?
Yeah, you going over right now?
Yep,
yeah, in a few minutes.
Yeah, I'll swing down.
okay.
We done?
well, minutes.
We gotta approve the minutes of October 4th meeting.
You can print them.
Oh, I'm sorry,
All right,
you could table it till next time.
I'm gonna table number 11 minutes. Approval for October 4th meeting. We'll do it at the next meeting.
Cause I didn't look at them.
Okay. Number 12, adjourn. Thank
So
you.
moved.
Aye.
Good night.
Good night.